Mark, first off, just how are you feeling? Just kind of a couple days away now from heading to Waco.
Yeah, we're excited to be playing the Elite Eight against Tennessee. Looking forward to headed to Waco. We're getting some great practices in. We're going to leave this afternoon here after our team practice, and we'll practice tomorrow morning at Baylor. We'll get 2 practices in tomorrow, and we'll get a practice in on Wednesday, and we're ready to compete on Thursday. A lot of excitement in the air. It's been a long season. It's been a great season, and we're ready to make one final push across the finish line here.
Does it help going to a place like Baylor, where somewhere where you're familiar with, at least, courts that you've played on? Does that factor in at all?
We're definitely looking at this as semi-home court advantage for us. It's Waco's right up the road. It's an easy hour-and-a-half drive. Pretty similar climate. We're very familiar with the courts there, so we've played a lot of matches at Baylor over the years, and we expect to have a nice crowd following us there, and we're looking forward to playing in some conditions that we're very familiar with.
Beyond being familiar with the facilities, you're familiar with the opponent as well, so what kind of advantage does that give you, having seen Tennessee already earlier this year?
Yeah, we've played Tennessee a lot over the years. We've played them once already this season, similar players that we've played against. So it's nice to know what we're kind of getting ourselves up against, just as far as overall as how they compete as a team. And we do know most of their players individually pretty well. So, yeah, it's nice to have some familiarity with playing the team we know. But, it is kind of nice. We've only played them once this season. So I believe when we played them last year it was like the 3rd or 4th time we played them that season, so it's kind of nice that we've only played them one time. Enough familiarity, but not too much overdone as well.
What are some of their particular strengths and some of the girls that they really lean on that give you guys some challenges? Yeah,
Tennessee always competes hard. They're a team that you got to really put away. Like if you get them down, you kind of got to deliver the knockout punch. They'll hang in there. They're always generally a very composed team that fights hard, and we had them down 2 of the matches last season. We had them down quite a bit. We didn't quite put them away, and they came back and made things very interesting at the end. So it's a team that's going to fight hard. Hopefully we'll come out firing on all cylinders, and if we do get in that position to close the door, I hope we can kind of close the door on them. Hopefully we're fortunate enough to get to that situation.
What do you remember about this year's match in particular, kind of maybe how it went? If I looked correctly, I think y'all lost the doubles point, but recovered in singles. So what do you remember, and how that kind of played into the whole conference slate?
Yeah, I remember the match pretty well. It was a rainy day. We were kind of sitting around waiting to see if it was going to be indoors or outdoors. We made a decision to go indoors maybe an hour and a half before the match. So, we got a little, kind of a shortened indoor practice in. We got it taken to us pretty good in the doubles. The doubles point was probably the worst we'd played all season. So the good news is I feel like we're playing some great doubles right now. We've changed all the pairings, and we were able to overcome a really brutal doubles point that went by in about 20 minutes or so, and it was a great response by our group. I remember winning quite a few first sets out there in the singles, and I expect it to be a different atmosphere this time. It's going to be close to 100 degrees during match time, and that's going to feel a little different than an indoor tennis match. So, I think we're going to have to embrace the conditions, embrace the heat and humidity, and I like to think that's going to be to our advantage.
Looking back at kind of this point last year, comparing to this point this year, going to Waco, going to Stillwater last year, just what's different about this year, kind of that, because you've been in that situation before?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of experience. The majority of our lineup competed in these stages last season. I think there's a lot to be said for a team that's been there and done that against a team that hasn't. So I'd like to think that experience will put us in a good mindset going into it. It's a lot of different scenarios this season. We've, been basically 2 all season for the most part, whereas last season we were 13 approaching the NCAA tournament. So we would like to think kind of overall we're in a better, more consistent state going in. And, Oklahoma State last year was kind of similar, comfortable feel to us. And, we'd like to think it's the same here. It's an experienced group that's played some big matches, not only last year, but this whole season. It's the SEC is just loaded from top to bottom, and we've played a million tough, high-quality opponents this season. So it's really, yeah, it's a transition, but it should be a pretty smooth transition for us.
You mentioned changing the doubles pairings. What's maybe the biggest challenge of doing that at the point of the season you did, and is there any risk involved of doing that at this point of the season?
There's definitely some risk. I hate to say we had nothing to lose because we actually have done pretty well in the doubles this season. We just weren't winning the doubles points against the top teams. So I felt like in order us to make a run here at the end of the season, we had to try something new. Having said that, we put Mary and Mia together, and they've played together for the last 2 years and done quite well. We did play Luciana and Nicole a bit last season, and they're best of friends, and that kind of doesn't hurt with the chemistry out there. And Lexington and Daria, they did play some in the fall. They went 4-1 in the fall, so it is a risk. It looks like it's been the right risk. We've played the doubles point tremendously in the NCAA tournament so far. I would say we've played better doubles in the last 3 matches than we have for the majority of the season. So just like any match, whether you got 3 really good teams out there or not, the doubles, things happen so quick. It's over and done with in about 20 minutes. So anything can happen, but I'm really pleased at where we are at all 3 positions in the doubles.
Do you feel like being the defending national champs, you guys kind of have more of that target on your back going in this year, and it's kind of what's the mindset of the team heading?
We've definitely had the target on our back. I think everyone would like to put on the resume they beat the defending national champions. I feel like we felt like that feeling all season. I feel like it maybe a little less and less now as we're getting deeper into the tournament. So I'm approaching it as we're the confident team, we're the team to beat. I think it's how you look at that. At the end of the day, I would take where we are going into it with the experience. The target on the back is definitely there, but I feel like at this stage, in a way, at least for me, I feel like the pressure has been taken off a little bit of that. Now it's just the best 8 teams in the nation who can play the best match head-to-head for the next 3 matches. So we're going in with a lot of confidence. These matches are going to be coming down to point here, point there. It's going to be who's performing on the big stages and the big moments.